for many of us who love a good story, there's a real comfort in traditional romance, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. That familiar feeling.
Yeah, you know the one. The perfect meet-cute, the charming characters, maybe even that enemies to lovers thing we kind of secretly enjoy.
Right. You know exactly what's coming, or you think you do.
Exactly. There's a real warmth in that predictability, knowing the story's going to follow those, guideposts.
It's definitely got its appeal. But what happens when a love story isn't planned? Like, at all? When it's messy, and it just refuses to stick to any script, and it shows up in these really unglamorous, sometimes just hilariously awkward ways.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Well, that's really what's so compelling about the series we're going to talk about today. It's Beautiful Men by KJ.
Beautiful Men.
And specifically, we'll focus on the first book, The Dog Walker. It really pushes back against those conventions.
So it's like a departure.
A huge departure. It's refreshingly honest, maybe even brave, in how it looks at modern connection.
Okay, so that's our mission for this deep dive then. Let's unpack how The Dog Walker challenges those genre norms.
Yeah, how does it make connection feel so incredibly real? Sometimes, like, almost uncomfortably real.
But in a good way, you mean?
In the best possible way, yeah. So this is really for anyone looking for a love story that feels, less like a fantasy.
And more like looking in a mirror.
Exactly. Reflecting that beautiful, messy, complicated reality of our own lives. Let's really get into what makes this one special.
Let's do it. Where'd we start?
Well, I think to really get the unique flavor of The Dog Walker, we have to start with something the author KJ actually said. It's kind of surprising.
Oh yeah, what's that?
She just says flat out, I didn't set out to write a love story.
Wow, okay. For a book that is about love, that's quite a statement, isn't it?
It really is.
She wasn't like chasing tropes or trying to create the next big book boyfriend.
Nope. Not consciously, anyway.
Just think about that for a minute. In a genre that's often defined by doing exactly that, how does that intention or lack of intention change things for the reader?
Oh, fundamentally. I mean, KJ explains that the whole series just sort of emerged.
Emerged.
Yeah, from her living her life, experiencing things, fumbling around, feeling things. It came from that raw, unedited reality. The stories just unfolded.
So they weren't like plotted out meticulously.
Not in the traditional sense, no. And that's why the book feels less like a carefully built plot and more like genuine moments unfolding one after another.
Yeah.
It kind of skips the big dramatic climaxes for something more subtle, an incremental journey of connection, which is actually really powerful. The stories in Beautiful Men are, as she puts it, drawn from real life, not, word-for-word transcripts, obviously.
Right. More like echoes.
Exactly. Echoes inspired by personal stuff.
Yeah.
Heartbreaks, tender moments, laughing with friends. Those mornings where you just wonder, am I ever going to get this right?
Oh, totally relatable.
And that lived experience is the foundation. It makes the stories feel so human, so earned.
Yeah, because it feels like it comes from a real place.
Yeah.
And then there's the title itself, Beautiful Men.
Right.
The author mentions you might, smile at it or scoff or even sigh. But the book pretty quickly redefines what beautiful actually means here.
It does. It's definitely not about just, like, handsome faces or perfect kisses.
So what is it about them?
For KJ, beautiful refers to the men who surprised her, the ones she tried not to fall for.
Okay.
And maybe the most important ones. The ones she never stopped thinking about.
Ah, so it's about the impact they had, not their looks.
Exactly. It shifts the focus completely from some external ideal to this internal lasting impact.
And that makes me think about self-discovery within relationships.
Yes, that's a huge theme here, isn't it?
Yeah.
The book talks about men who held space for her, who taught her things, who told the truth, the supportive ones.
The good guys.
Yeah. But just as crucially, it talks about the men who, as she says, let me down.
Why are they important?
Because often it was through those difficult, maybe disappointing experiences that she found parts of herself she didn't even know existed.
Wow. So love isn't just about finding the perfect match.
Less about that, yeah, and more about this ongoing journey of like internal revelation, self-discovery.
It's about how other people planned or unplanned good or bad experiences.
Yeah, how they shine a light on bits of ourselves we might never have seen otherwise, whether they fit some idea of beautiful or not.
So these stories came from this raw, unplanned, honest place. How does that actually, play out on the page? How does this unscripted love look?
Well, that brings us right to a really core theme, openness.
Openness. Okay.
Yeah. And maybe just take a second, think about your own life. What kind of armor do you wear to protect yourself?
Ooh, good question. We all have our defenses, don't we?
We really do. And KJ talks about this directly, about her own journey with it.
Also.
She talks about how she used to rely on composure, on always having the right words.
Yeah.
Like having a script.
Being prepared, logic, backup plans.
Exactly. Even prescripted conversations. Those were her tools for keeping everything neat, organized.
And she says they worked.
For a long time. Yeah. Until they didn't.
Until real connection showed up.
Precisely. Because none of that stuff, none of that armor really prepares you for genuine connection.
Yeah.
Especially the deep kind.
The kind that messes things up.
The kind that inherently disrupts your patterns and just walks right past all those walls you built.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. Because the big takeaway seems so liberating.
It is.
The most important thing to carry isn't strength or certainty or some perfect life plan. It's openness.
Yes. Something softer, she says.
Yeah.
Less certain, but way more alive.
But that sounds terrifying, that vulnerability.
It absolutely is. It's like taking off the armor for something fragile, but maybe ultimately stronger.
So how does the dog walker show this? Is it about being perfect?
Not at all. Openness isn't about being polished or having it all figured out. It's shown more as the willingness to fumble. Yeah, to feel things, to let yourself be seen, even to just stay in the room when every instinct is telling you to run away.
Can you give an example, like with Sarah, the main character?
Totally. You see Sarah showing up, maybe on a bad hair day or admitting some silly fear she has. Yeah. Or just letting herself feel disappointment without immediately putting her walls back up.
Staying open even when it's hard, that sounds challenging.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
And the book doesn't sugarcoat how vulnerable that feels. Instead of like witty banter, her internal thoughts are just this storm of relatable anxieties.
Second-guessing everything.
Constantly. Which leads to maybe a fumbled sentence or a text message she way overthinks.
Like spilling coffee.
Yeah. There's a bit like that. Or stumbling over her words talking to Andy.
Yeah.
And instead of some cute, charming recovery.
It just shows her being embarrassed.
Exactly. Her genuine embarrassment. And Andy's reaction is just as real. Maybe a laugh. Maybe just a shared awkward look.
And that's what builds the connection, not the perfect line.
That's it. That unscripted human moment connects them more deeply than any perfectly planned interaction ever could.
That authenticity really hits home, doesn't it? It grounds it.
It really does. And the book just leans into this counterintuitive idea. Let love make a mess of your carefully organized life.
And then laugh.
Because maybe that's what you needed more than perfection.
Yeah.
That's why I feel so different. Less polished.
Profoundly more human.
Totally. This whole theme of openness is woven right through Sarah's journey. The book asks us, along with her, what does it mean to stay open when shutting down feels safer?
And maybe more broadly, what happens when we stop trying to script our lives and just show up as we are?
It's a question for all of us, really. What kind of love finds you when you actually let your guard down, let things get a bit messy?
Okay, so we've talked about the philosophy, this brave approach. Now let's get into the characters. How does this raw, unfiltered style translate into Sarah and Andy?
Right, let's meet them properly. First, Sarah. And I have a feeling you listening, you're going to find her incredibly relatable.
Why is that?
Because she's someone who, honestly, she overthinks everything.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Know the feeling.
She keeps finding herself in these hilariously awkward spots, trying desperately to keep it together while feeling like it's all falling apart.
That's familiar.
KJ even playfully says, Sarah is a lot like me and maybe like you too, often hiding behind sarcasm or just talking really fast.
Trying to outrun the awkwardness.
Maybe. And what makes her so human is seeing that overthinking play out, like agonizing over crafting the perfect casual text to Andy.
Oh, God, the casual text agony. It's real.
It's so real. And she ends up sending something maybe a bit awkward, but also hilariously honest. And it's in those fumbled moments that their connection feels most authentic.
She wants to be brave, but it's hard.
Exactly. The story really captures that internal battle, that scene where she's drafting the text, trying to get the tone just right, casual but not too casual.
Been there, done that, spent way too long on it.
Right. It's almost painfully relatable, that internal monologue before you hit send.
And then there's Andy, the one who disrupts her world.
Yeah, Andy. He shows up in this really unexpected, wonderfully confusing way. He's the guy walking her dog.
Just the dog walker.
Just the dog walker. Which is kind of a perfect metaphor for how love often arrives, isn't it?
Not always a big dramatic entrance.
Not always.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just walks into your life totally unannounced, like, as the book says, a man holding a dog leash and a question you didn't even know your heart wanted to answer.
That's lovely, this quiet, everyday disruption.
Yeah, and it slowly starts to just upend everything for her.
And Andy's whole perspective seems tied up with dogs, doesn't it?
Very much so. He's not big on social media or anything. He measures people by, and I love this, the way dogs like them.
Huh. Okay. That's a metric.
It is. For him, earning a dog's trust means showing up consistently. Rain or shine. No faking it.
And he noticed Sarah before, right? Not just on the app.
Months before.
Yeah.
But it wasn't some big cinematic moment. It was just, he saw her crouch down and grin at Sully, the dog, like she'd known him forever.
A small moment.
A small moment that made his chest feel lighter, he says. He believes in patterns. And meeting her twice, that felt like a pattern worth paying attention to.
And speaking of Sally, we can't forget the dog.
Absolutely not. Sally the dog, who honestly might have better instincts than both Sarah and Andy.
The matchmaker.
Totally. It's such a great detail that love literally arrives through a side door, wearing muddy shoes and holding a dog named Sally.
He's not just a cute accessory then.
No, he feels like a real character, a pivotal third character almost, a symbol of that unpolished, earthy reality their relationship takes on.
His enthusiasm kind of pulls Sarah into things.
Exactly. His boundless joy, his detours, they literally changed the course of her day. That first brief meeting with Andy, it was all leash tangles and a quick smile that just stayed with her.
And then months later, she sees him again.
Yep. Not in the park this time, but on her phone, scrolling through dating profiles. And there he is.
That same spark.
That same spark, that same warmth. And she admits, though not out loud, her heart started racing.
But not like a rom-com race.
No, more like a steady, thudding excitement, a feeling of, okay, this matters.
But she didn't message him right away because overthinking.
Of course not. She spent 3 whole days agonizing, playing out scenarios, drafting the perfect message.
While Sally just watched her?
Yep. Head tilted, probably thinking, just type already.
Huh. And what did Andy say back?
His reply was so perfectly understated. Just, I think we've met before, and I think the dogs liked you.
Simple. Genuine.
Exactly. Those little moments make it so real, and Sally just adds to that warm, unpredictable chaos.
So the book isn't just romantic, it's
definitely not just polished romance. It's genuinely funny. And most importantly, it's messy in a way that feels completely real.
It sounds like such a breath of fresh air, especially if you read a lot of romance.
It really is. If you're maybe a bit tired of the perfect plots or the grand gestures that feel, I don't know, a bit out of reach sometimes.
This is different.
This is different. It gets that the biggest love stories often happen in those quiet, everyday, totally unglamorous moments of just connecting.
And KJ sees the whole series this way.
Yeah, she positions it as a profound love letter.
To who?
To the men who surprised her, she says. To the women we've all been, with all the ups and downs. And just to the wild, beautiful, sometimes maddening ways we keep trying to connect.
Written from a real place.
A really tender one, yeah. You can feel it.
So wrapping up then, beautiful men, the dog walker really does stand out, doesn't it? It's not chasing the usual tropes, not promising that shiny, perfect fairy tale ending.
Not at all. Instead, you get this honest, real-life, inspired journey into what it means to be open.
How those powerful connections often happen right when we stop trying to script everything.
Exactly. When we just show up, messy bits and all.
Yeah.
It really is that authentic kind of love story that feels wonderfully, profoundly real.
Which kind of leaves us with a thought, maybe?
I think so. A question for you listening. If openness is something you have to keep choosing over and over in your own life, what new, unplanned stories might start to unfold for you? What could happen if you just embraced that willingness to say, okay, I have no idea what this is, but I'm here, I'm listening.
What beautiful, unscripted connections might be waiting just around the corner?
Yeah. What might be waiting?
That is definitely something to think about. We really hope you'll check out Beautiful Men, The Dog Walker by KJ.
You can find it on Kindle, paperback.
And it's in Kindle Unlimited too, right? All on Amazon.
Yep, easy to find.
Because sometimes, the stories we don't plan for, the ones that kind of shake up our neat little worlds.
Maybe those are the ones we really needed all along.